What question can you ask yourself to find out if you are a psychopath or not? You can be a psychopath and not know it?
Very well. This is a good question that I also answer in my book. But, Jordy, in honor of you, in the fact that this is already warmed up, I am already warm.
Yes, now a good temperature.
I have to tell you that, until about 20 minutes ago, I was trying to control my body homeostasis.
It's that now I am also a psychopath, and I want to piss you all off. I'm sorry, I have recognized it, until I wondered.
This is not a psychopathic trap.
Totally. I am dedicated to that.
The first 45 minutes I was in a situation of environmental hostility. It is not possible, Jordy.
It is making me to give, and putting the coldest.
For a Chinese torture. But now not. I feel relaxed now because I feel fine now. Well, now I do.
Well, at first it gives you a little bit of difficulty, so that it is not so easy for you.
But that has been very good for me, because I have mentally greased myself, and now I have let go. Okay. A spoiler for my next book. Look, there are 3 key things to find out if you are a psychopath or not. First question. I am worried about the fact that I can be harmful to others. If you are really worried, it is a positive indicator. In favor, in the good sense. You are not a psychopath. The second question is, I am able, although it is difficult for me, to fully understand what an emotion is, or an emotional state of the person. I can feel what a authentic emotional connection is with my mother, with my sister, with whatever, with just one person. If the answer is yes, even if you have problems with others, if you have had that real emotional connection, is another good indicator. And the third is, when the language, when the conversation with someone has a human depth. Important, so that we generate themes that have deep emotional resonances. And that require an effort from me to put myself in the other person's place and clearly understand what their life situation is. If the answer is yes, if there is a check-in in the 3, you are not a psychopath. If you have 2, if you have 2, come on, I would think about it a bit. If you have 1, you have hope.
If you don't have any, surprise.
Surprise. Jackpot.
If you don't have any, my advice is to go to a desert island, because you are not going to hurt anyone there.
What can a person who is realizing that this is the case do? Is there anything they can do? What would you recommend to someone?
In general, when a person has deep doubts about whether he is a psychopath, it is because he has indicators 2 and 3. He has them, let's say, deficient. But he still has point 1, because he is worried, and I assure you that the psychopath is delighted to meet himself. Do you understand? The psychopath? Well, that's how it is. You can tell him, for example, imagine, Jordy, that I think that you are a psychopath, which is not at all. Let's be very clear here.
After the cold, sorry, it's not me.
That you were joking, that you were a gag.
It was 44 degrees. A complete lie.
But let's imagine that I think that you are a psychopath. If I ask you, are you afraid of hurting someone? If your answer is yes, it will be difficult for you to be a psychopath. Why does that mean? It means that you have not passed to the point that I have called survival. To the point where you see the world in black and white, and what you dedicate yourself to is, instead of establishing links, obtaining control and power. That is the point. It means that you fear for others. That you are suffering because other people can be harmed by you. That point is very important. I would say that is the most significant. Then, you would probably have certain limitations, because there are people who have difficulties in the emotional field and are not a psychopath. For example, to be a little more technical, there is a pathology called alexithymia, which is characterized by the person having difficulties feeling emotions and being aware when describing them. It is associated with other problems as well. The person with alexithymia has problems in encoding and understanding emotions, but is not a psychopath. What I mean by this is that the problem of depth or deficiency when interpreting and understanding emotions is not exclusive to the psychopath. There are other pathologies. For example, autism is also a very serious problem of empathy. What happens is that, well, you know that autism can have different degrees. There are functional autistics, Asperger's syndrome. But it is a problem of empathy. That is to say, people on the autism spectrum have problems when it comes to empathy. What happens is that, fortunately, those who are on what is called the autistic spectrum do not develop the need to dominate and control others. Therefore, his survival as a person is not linked to the fact of dominating the other. This is what, in quotation marks, I am going to use the expression, it pisses off the psychopath. To be someone important, the psychopath has to beat you up. And that link doesn't exist in autistic people. In certain circumstances, especially in the most functional, they can establish important links too. What I mean by this is that, even though these aspects are important in psychopathy, they are not exclusive to psychopathy. They share some other problems. What is exclusive in psychopathy is these emotional deficiencies, plus the idea that I live longer and better the more I beat you up. And, consequently, I have no feeling of guilt, nor any responsibility, nor do I feel concerned about what happens to you independently of what I do to you. That is what this fear really does to the psychopath.
Great video. If you liked my work, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. If you have any other videos you would like to see, leave them in the comments box.